my sister, how you doing? Good, good. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, sis, we're out here showing our people, the blacks and Hispanics, that we are the Israelites according to the Bible.
That's right.
You ever heard that before? You have? Okay, so what? Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know so far.
Listen, I know what I know
Jacob.
through the word of my master. So, we all bleed the same.
Okay. All right. So, are you familiar with who you are according to the Bible? Because there's many nations in the Bible. Which nation do you come from?
What do you mean?
What race of people do you come from in the Bible? Because do you agree? Do you agree that the races written in the Bible, these are real nationalities. These are real groups of people, right? So what race of people would you say you come from according to the Bible? You're a who?
I don't know where I'm from.
Okay, who's Puerto Rican? Your mom or your dad? Your father is Irish. Okay. And how do you know that your father's Irish? Is his father Irish? Was he just born there?
Showing our people who they are according to the Bible.
Okay, give me that in Romans. Give me Romans. Yeah, give me that real quick. Because, through history, right, and through colonization, a lot of us tend to believe that we're mixed with a lot of things. And your father may be, pure Irish for all we know. But here's what the Bible has to say about who you truly are. Read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit.
So your spirit will bear witness with the spirit of the Bible, meaning the words and the prophecies and testimonies that come out of this Bible. Your spirit will bear spirit with this Bible, if what?
That we are the children of God.
Which will let you know that you are one of the 12 tribes of Israel, because those are God's chosen people according to the Bible. All right. Now, if you look at the sign right here, all right. Now, of course, we don't, you see that these are the 12 tribes of Israel. On the right is what the colonizers called us. On the left is what God called us. Okay. So obviously, you said your father's from Ireland, or he's Irish. He's from Ireland. Okay, all right, so here's what we're teaching our people. Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 49.
So to all the blacks and Hispanics out here that are listening, we're showing our people that as a people, we were supposed to keep God's laws. Because we broke God's laws, God punished us as his people, as his children, because we are the children of God, like we just read, right? If your children don't do what you say, or let's say they were to curse you out, how would you respond to that? It's consequences, right? Consequences and repercussions, right? Same thing with us and God. He gave us laws and statutes, which the same way you would have laws and statutes in your house, or rules, right? And if they're broken, there's consequence to pay, right? So because we broke God's laws, here's some of the things that happen to you so-called blacks and Hispanics who are the Israelites. Read that.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So God said he's going to bring a nation against the children of Israel from far. Now when we examine this, let's look at this map right here. We know that the blacks and Hispanics, or the so-called Native Americans and Hispanics, they were on the eastern hemisphere of the world, right? Scattered throughout the islands, Puerto Rico, Cuba, South Central America. And the people that came and conquered them were the conquistadors. Are you familiar with that history? Okay, and that happened in 1492. They came from the other side of the earth, which the Bible calls the end of the earth. It's from the other side of the ocean, right? Read.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Now when we examine these people that conquered them, these people had a certain, what do you call it? It's called the national...
Identifying mark.
Yeah, a national bird or a national animal. Like for Canada, what would it be? It's the bear. You ever saw the bear? Right, for America, what would it be? There you go. These same people that created America, he said what?
As swift as the eagle flight.
So when you examine the Spaniards, the Italians, when you examine their flags, they have eagles on them. The back of their money, the back of the dollar today, it has the eagle on it. Right, so God is giving you examples of who these people are. He's giving you traits of who these people are. Right, that he calls your enemy. Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So when the Spaniards got to the islands, that would be Cuba, Puerto Rico,
Hispaniola.
Hispaniola, that's what I was thinking of, Hispaniola. The people there were not speaking Spanish.
Right.
They were not speaking Spanish. You were speaking dialects of Hebrew.
Right.
You were not called a Puerto Rican.
Right.
Puerto Rican means rich port. When the Spaniards got there, there were tons of riches. And guess what they did with those riches? They stole them from the people. They stole them from the people and put the people in slavery. Right? The people that are in Haiti today, right? They speak a dialect of French, right? Creole, because they were conquered by the French. Right? Same thing with us so-called blacks here who are from the tribe of Judah. We speak English. When they picked us up, we were not speaking English, right? So God is telling his chosen people, these are some of the signs how they would identify who they are in the last days, based on the history that happened to them for breaking his laws. Keep reading. From the top again.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flight. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So you didn't understand their tongue when they got there, but they forced you to not speak your language anymore. Over time, you learned their language. Read.
A nation of fierce countenance.
A nation of fierce countenance. So you so-called Hispanics. This nation of fierce countenance, what did they do? They came with wooden crosses, which is what you guys celebrate today, called Catholicism, right? Idolatry. And if you would not bow down to this cross, they would burn you on the cross for not keeping their, what would you call it? False religion or false doctrine, right? So when you look at some of these images right here, you see that they're burning these people by the 13s. These are images that were drawn because they didn't have cameras back then, so people drew what they saw. So you see people being burned by the 13, mocking Christ and his disciples. You got people being burnt with the cross here. So as you can see, he said these people, they didn't what? Read it again.
A nation of fierce countenance.
They were very fierce. They had no remorse for the people that they conquered. Read.
Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
They said they didn't care how old you were. You could have been 65 years old, 70 years old. If you had 2 limbs, 2 arms, and 2 legs, and a working brain, you were in the field. Now, you so-called Hispanics who are the Israelites, when you look in the fields today, who are the ones that are picking the strawberries? Who are the ones that are bringing the produce into the stores that we go and buy from? Who provides that luxury? It's the so-called Hispanics. You are the Israelites. You are God's chosen people. Read.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So, you Hispanics, who are the Israelites, you were switched from plantation to plantation. As a matter of fact, right now, a lot of people don't know down in South America, you know the water company Nestle? You buy water from them? Or do you know that they have water plantations that Hispanics are currently working on? Yeah, little children as well. They work more hours than you and I combined. Yeah, modern slavery, right? They keep this under wraps though. God said this will be a sign to show you who the children of Israel are in the last days. Read that again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
And there was nothing that we could do, right? Because if you don't work, what happens?
Don't eat.
You don't eat. You end up homeless. You die from starvation, lack of water. So we have to work for these people that conquered our lands and now provide the jobs there. A lot of us are working for minimum wage. We're the first fired, last hired, right? That's what you see happening among the so-called Hispanics today who are the Israelites. Why doesn't that happen to anyone else on the planet? Amos 3:1. Hold that, Amos 3:1. Why is it that you when it comes to any other nation, there was no other nation that was killed by the hundreds of millions. There was 200 million so-called African Americans killed during the 1619 slave trade. 200 million. That's during the slave trade. We're not talking about how people get killed today by the police in the streets and nothing like that, right? That's just during the slave trade. We had another 100 million Native Americans who got killed During the slave trade. Did you know they also went into slavery as well? Yeah, they went into slavery. Absolutely. A lot of those people, they were taken from here and taken all the way back to Europe. Some of them learned how to speak English and came back and were able to save some of their people. I forgot who did that. Yes, sir. Read that again? Oh, go ahead, read that. So what I'm explaining is, God is only dealing with a certain group of people who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And that's why you don't see any of these curses happening to anyone else. They're the only ones being punished currently right now. Now, don't get me wrong, there's ghettos in India and even in Europe and things like that. But who else went into slavery by the hundreds of millions and were being killed by the hundreds of millions? Being transferred over the oceans from country to country. Who else did that happen to? Who else got treated like cattle? Who were called cattle? Who else were called cattle? Who else did that happen to? Give me Matthew 15 to 24. Okay.
At the end of the day, we all believe the same God.
Yeah, all animals bleed red too. Am I a bear? Just because I bleed red like a bear?
God made us in his image.
He made who in his image?
All of us.
Okay, what does God look like?
We don't know really.
We don't know. Oh, really?
We don't know.
Really? Okay. So here's what I'm going to show you so-called blacks and Hispanics who are the Israelites.
Everybody has different ideas.
Okay, I'm going to show you blacks and Hispanics who are the Israelites. God is a so-called, what we would call today, a black man. Christ was what we would call a black man, and his people are black as well. Give me that in Daniel really quick. Read that.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
God, right? We would call God. So he's looking at God right now. He said the Ancient of Days did what?
Did sit.
Now, in order for you to sit, right? In order for you to sit, what must you have? What must you have in order to sit?
A chair.
Okay, let's. All right, let's.
You say, what do I need to sit? A chair.
Okay. What do you physically need? You need legs, a butt, right, to sit down.
On
Right.
the chair.
So God is sitting, right? Read.
Whose garment was white as snow.
God, it said God had on a garment, which means he must have had a what? A body in order to put on a garment, right? Just like you have on a shirt, right? That's a garment. You must have a body to put that on. Read.
And his head, and the hair of his head.
The what?
The hair of his head.
Wait, the Bible says that God has hair on his head? So God isn't just a spirit? God actually had, what does he have?
And the hair of his head.
What type of hair did he have?
Like the pure wool.
The what?
Pure wool.
God has woolly hair. He's a dark-skinned man with woolly hair.
That's right.
You understand? When you see this right here, this is wool. That's wool. That's the type of hair that God got on his head. Now, what type of people on the planet have this type of hair right here? What do you see with this type of hair? You can say it. Who? Black Americans, right? So that's why I said God, if you saw God, he would look like a so-called black man today. God is a dark-skinned man with a body and woolly hair.
Right.
Right? Now, what does his son look like? What does Jesus Christ look like? Do you know what Jesus Christ looked like? With wavy hair.
Got any flyers?
All right,
That
so
white
why
car?
would you say wavy hair?
Got any flyers to that white car right there listening? Oh, okay.
Okay, so he couldn't have had woolly hair too, like this? Which one do you think it was, wavy? Because it's not wavy. Which one do you think he had, wavy, or which one would have been more like? More wavy? You think so? So you would say something like this, like wavy, like that? Okay, okay. So you said he's a dark-skinned man with long goat hair, like that. I don't think I ever saw one of those. Maybe Cat Williams when he permed his hair or something like that. But I don't think I ever saw a black man with hair like that, right? All right, read that for me. Here's what Jesus Christ looks like according to the Bible. Read.
the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
The Son of Man, when you read the Bible, that is always talking about Christ, the Son of Man. Would you agree? The Son of Man, read.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Wait, what texture and color was his hair?
Were white like wool.
Wait, no, he had wavy hair.
His hairs were white like wool.
There you go, sis. Hey, he had hair like a black man. Christ had an afro. That's what you would call him today. Christ had an afro.
I'll be honest, whatever.
Now here's the problem. Hold on, here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that when our people start to believe that Christ had this wavy hair and he was a man of no color, that's why you see black on black crime right now in the communities. That's why you see in South and Central America, you got MS-13. You have the, not the mafia, what's the name of those guys? The army gang. What do they call them over there?
Light Kings.
Not those guys. Yeah, but when you look over there, you got those people that they overtake governments. What's the name of those people? I can't remember. No, not the ones that are upset at the government for corruption, but the ones that are just as corrupt as the government and they overtake the governments. But that's what you see over there, right? The reason that we're killing one another, you kill another man that look like you, is because we've been taught through slavery that Christ looks like this. So now you think, guess what? When I see another man that looks like this, he is automatically above me, right? When I see a man that looks like this, he's the same as those people that were put on slave ships. And that's why you have a lot of so-called Hispanic on Hispanic crime in South and Central America. Imagery is very important. Very important. Because if I was to ask you, what is the normal occupation of a black man? Let me ask you that. What would you say?
You see, I can't answer that.
Yeah, you can.
You know why?
Don't be scared.
I'm
You
not
can answer it.
scared.
I know what you're thinking. Go ahead.
No, you don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because we all equal. I don't look at
But
it.
wait, answer the
Me
question.
personally,
What is the normal occupation of a black man? What comes to mind?
you got a black man who's a doctor. You got black men who are lawyers.
Is that a normal
You
occupation?
got black men.
A normal occupation. What do you see the majority?
We all could do it. Why can't they?
Okay, here's why I'm saying that, because when you look through the media, you look at TV and movies, we're portrayed as what? Gangbangers, right? Drug dealers. We're the ones on drugs. That's why imagery is important. When you're always pushing to certain people that have a certain skin color in the media negatively, now automatically, if you want to walk by a black person compared to a so-called white person, you're probably going to be more on edge walking by a black person.
My husband was Dominican.
That's society.
Why would it be to me?
That's society. But what we're showing you.
That's the difference between me and society.
Okay.
I don't see color.
What color am I? What color am I?
Listen, you're black, I'm Hispanic.
I thought you didn't see color.
But to the
Read that
world,
again. Read it
to the
again.
world. You're seeing it as the flesh. I'm
His
seeing
head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
What color was Christ's feet? What did it look like?
As if they burned in a furnace.
So Christ wasn't just any black man. Christ was a very dark-skinned black man, right? He didn't look Middle Eastern. He was a very dark-skinned black man with white woolly hair, right? Now what did his people look like? Give me Job 30:30. You know what I want? Give me a few of those. Give me like 2 of those. Now what did God's people look like? What would you say God's people look like?
You're asking the wrong person. I judge by the
No, listen. I want you blacks and Hispanics who are the Israelites to understand one thing. It's not about skin color, right? We're showing you this because nowadays there are a group of people that portray themselves as the Jews or the Israelites that don't necessarily fit the description in the Bible. That's why we go through that, right? But there are Hispanics who are your complexion, but they are Israelites. You understand? So it's not necessarily about a black and white thing. That's not what gets you the kingdom. It's about a bloodline. But we are showing our people that the ancient Jews and the Jews today, a lot of those people are people of color.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.